Hey everybody, welcome back to my modern homestead. My name is Janet and today is Tuesday afternoon. It's about 4:25 and I have a quick simple recipe that we're going to do ahead of Idalia. Yes, I said Idalia because we live just down from Vidalia, Georgia, and it's spelled the same without the V, so I'll just say Idalia. Anyway, it has nothing to do with this recipe. We're going to make a sweet and spicy sauce, and I think I'm going to call this Idalia sauce because I seem to have this habit of when a hurricane is coming through, I want to can. But this one's really quick and simple, so let's get started. Okay, here we have some of the ingredients. I have 6 cups of sugar, a half a cup of chili flakes. These are my Korean chili flakes. Then 1 tablespoon of salt, and this is just sea salt. If you don't have sea salt, you can use pickling or canning salt. And then a half a cup of finely chopped garlic. Yes, I cheated and I used the store-bought stuff. But if you want it really fresh and the best tasting, use fresh salt and chop it yourself. I didn't want to do all that chopping. So anyway, we're just going to take the salt and combine the garlic and salt together. And then we're going to set it to the side. And over on the stove, I have 6 cups of apple cider vinegar. And we're going to bring that up to a boil and put the sugar in it. Okay, let's turn the eye on. And all we need to do is bring this up to a boil and then put the sugar in it. Over here, I have my jars heating. I actually ended up boiling them, so they're good and sterilized. But when we're closer to being done, I'll take them out. I'll put this on the other counter and put the jars on the other counter, and we'll get it all jarred up. This won't take very long at all. Okay, this has just come up to a boil, so we're going to add in the sugar. Again, this is 6 cups of sugar. We're going to stir it until it's all dissolved, and then we're going to let it boil for about 5 minutes. The sugar is dissolved, so now we're just going to wait and let it come back up to boil. It's still really hot. It won't take but just a minute. We are now back at a boil, so let's set the timer for 5 minutes. Timer is just about to go off. Let's take this off the stove and put the other ingredients in there. Whew, y'all be careful. Breathing that stuff in will choke you. All right, let's add in the garlic. Be careful. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. Alrighty. And let's add in the pepper flakes. Okay. We're just going to give this a good stir. And let's go get the pepper. Oh my goodness, I forgot the pepper. Let's go get the jars and get this ready to can up. Okay, now here I already have my rings ready. I've got the lids already washed. I've got my ladle, and I've got my funnel. I also have a wet napkin here to wipe the rims of the jars. All right, here we go. Now we're going to fill each jar. I'm not going to use this little spoon, but we're going to fill each jar to 1 inch, not 1 inch, excuse me, 1/2 inch headspace. And if you don't like to use the threads of the jar to help you measure, in the canning section at the stores, you can usually find this tool either by itself or in a box with other canning items. There we go. That's 1/2 inch. So at this point, we just, whoa, don't knock that jar over. Wipe the rim really well. Put on a clean lid. And these are my new 4-jar lids. Put a band on till finger tight. When that jar starts turning and you're pushing down, it's good. Look how pretty. Let's get the rest of them done. We've got our jars filled. Let's get them in the canner. Now, I'm going to be honest about this recipe. So far, I'm not super impressed. I followed the directions exactly, and it said it would make 8 jars, but I have way more than that. And this, what is supposed to be a sauce, is very, as you can see, it's just like water. I don't know. Maybe when we open it, we can add clear gel to it. I don't know. What's your suggestions? I'm just taking what's left and putting it in this pint-sized jar. I don't think I have enough to, whoops, get to a 1/2 inch head. Ah, good gracious, a 1/2 inch head space. Nope. So we're just going to, I'll sit it in the canner, but I'm not really going to try to can it. And we'll see what happens when it's all done, y'all. All there. Let's put on the lid. We'll wait for it to come up to a rolling boil. While we're waiting on that canner to come up to a boil, I've already washed everything, so I thought I would show you. I'm using, got pepper flake on me. I'm using this book, and I'm using the recipe on page 281. That recipe is the Thai hot and sweet dipping sauce. Okay, we are at a hard boil, so I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes. Turned off the eye. Now we're going to remove the lid, and we're just going to let the canner sit here. Goodness gracious, this thing's making the biggest mess. It's getting water everywhere. Okay, now we'll let this sit here for at least 5 minutes and let the water get good and still before we take the jars out of the water. Okay, our water is good and still. Let's get these out and put them on the cooling table. Okay, friends, let's try this and see what it tastes like. Now, I went and got some chicken from the Chinese restaurant. We're just going to try it and see. This is from that one jar that was larger. Let's try it one more. Really not bad. It's not too hot, even for a lightweight like me. It's got just, when you first taste it, you taste a lot of the vinegar, but it kind of mellows out. I'm sorry, I've got chicken in my mouth. But it's good, y'all. Y'all go try it. I like it. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Until we meet again, may you be blessed. Love you guys. You know I love it when you're here for a few minutes.